好，第17條咧就用埋咧心臟嘅其他結構啦。咁頭先咧主要就係講 W 噶嘛，今次呢條題目咧就講埋 X、Y、Z 啦。咁啊睇下邊一句係正確咯喎。第一句咧佢就話啦 ，Z 咧 right atrium 咧就係會接收由個肺嚟嘅含氧血嘅。咁其實呢句咧係錯嘅。咁啊因為 right atrium 啦，咁如果你真係有溫書嘅話，你知道啦，其實佢係接收嚟嘅缺氧血嘅。咁如果呢句你要改正啊，咁應該係變翻 left atrium 咧，先係由嗰個肺靜脈啦去接收翻啲有氧血翻嚟嘅。咁啊 A 可以 say goodbye 啦。好，跟住啦就去到 B 啦 ，Y 同 Z 咧，佢哋都係泵咗同一個體積嘅血出嚟嘅。咁呢句咧都係錯嘅。咁其實大約你都睇到㗎啦 ventricle 嘅 volume 咧係比呢個 atrium 咧為之大嘅。咁所以啦，如果你要改正嘅話咧，應該係 ventricle 佢泵出嚟嘅血咧係比起 atrium 咧應該係為之多。咁所以啦。B 咧又錯埋咯喎，而 C 咧就講啦 ，blood in Z 即係喺 right atrium 嘅血糖啦，係高過咧喺個 left atrium 嘅血糖嘅。咁啊呢句咧係正確嘅。咁啊因為啦，當啲血啦佢由呢個 right atrium 啦泵到落去 right ventricle， 再泵去個肺，由個肺再翻嚟嘅時候啦，其實你都見得到佢經過咗起碼一個咁大個器官就係個肺。咁個肺佢都有 living cells 噶嘛。佢都會攞咗啲糖咧，攞嚟做呢個 respiration，咁所以翻嚟嘅血咧就係會少咗血糖嘅，所以咧 C 咧就已經係答案啦。咁啊有啲體育精神啦，搞掂埋 D 嘅啦。D 就話啦，當啲血咧由個 Y 嗰處離開嘅時候咧，就係泵去一個長啲嘅距離嘅。咁即係話啦，由 right atrium 咧就泵遠啲嘅距離，而 X 咧 left ventricle 咧就泵一個短啲嘅距離 before 佢翻心臟。咁你當然啦，呢句都係錯啦。right ventricle 就係泵血去個肺，相反啦 left ventricle 咧就係泵啲血咧去身體各部分，就除咗個肺，泵去個腦、泵去個肝、泵去佢隻腳趾尾都有。咁所以呢句都係錯。咁如果你要改嘅話咧，應該係將佢變翻做啦 left ventricle 咧就泵血泵去遠啲嘅身體器官嘅部分，而右手邊嘅 ventricle 咧就泵血泵去一個好近嘅肺嘅。咁呢度咧順便提埋嗰啲字眼點樣去解釋咩叫遠同近啦。咁呢度咧仲有一樣嘢想提大家嘅就係 left ventricle 咧，由於佢要泵血去到一個遠啲嘅地方，泵去個腦、泵去腳趾尾，所以左手邊嘅 ventricle 咧佢嗰個 muscle wall 咧係零舍厚嘅。Question 17 we shall use all the structure of the heart. So let's see which of the following statements about the heart is correct. Option A is talking about for the Z chamber, right atrium, it will receive oxygenated blood from the lungs. Actually, it's a wrong statement because the right atrium, it should receive the deoxygenated blood from the vena cava. So that's why if we would like to correct this statement, it should be the left atrium receive the oxygenated blood from the pulmonary vein. And for option B, Y and Z, they pump out the same volume of the blood. And this statement is also wrong because you can see that the volume of the ventricle it must be bigger than the volume of the atrium. So that's why if we need to correct it, it should be the ventricle. They will pump out relatively larger volume of the blood than the atria. And for option C, blood in Z right atrium has higher glucose content than that in the left atrium. This statement is correct because when the blood is pumped up from the right atrium to the right ventricle and then go to the lungs and then go to the lungs for the gas exchange and then come back to the heart chamber W, that's the left atrium. So you can see that the blood, they really go to the big organ, the lungs, not only for gas exchange. There are living cells in the lungs as well. So the living cells, they will use the glucose for the respiration. So that's why the blood glucose level will be lower, and then in the left atrium, it should receive the blood with a lower blood glucose level. So that's why option C is correct. Option D is talking about the blood pumped out from Y, that means the right ventricle will travel a longer distance than that of X. So will the left ventricle just pump the blood for a shorter distance? Of course it's not, because the correct concept is that right ventricle pumps the blood to the lungs, and the left ventricle pumps the blood to all body parts, for example, your brain, your liver, your leg muscle, except your lungs. So how can we correct it? the left ventricle, it should pump the blood to the distal body organs. However, the right ventricle will pump the blood to the nearby lungs, and those are the adjectives we can use to describe the body organs in our body. Of course, one friendly reminder for you is talking about the muscle wall of the left ventricle because they need to pump the blood to a long distance, so that's why the muscle wall of the left ventricle is the thickest.